Holliston is a right-to-farm community, and there's also an active and exciting garden community right here in town. We're going to talk to the people that organize the community gardens in Holliston and some of the gardeners. Here we are at the Pinecrest Community Garden. Deb, tell me how this all came about this year.
Well, P.J. Kokeli, that had been overseeing the gardens, decided that it was time for him to step away. And so the town was looking for a committee in town to oversee it. And the AgCom has a different purview of what their mission is, and the farm committee felt that they were doing a lot of work up at the community farm, so they had other interests up there. And so then it fell on the shoulders of the Golf Course Advisory Committee because it sits on the golf course. And we talked about it at one of our meetings, and there was some discussion, and then finally the group said, yeah, okay, we'll make this work. And so now it comes under the auspices of the Golf Course Advisory Committee, and basically I'm overseeing it. And I have a great head gardener here with Adam Taylor, who's done fantastic work here for us. And we wanted to keep the gardens going. They've been alive and well here for 16 years, and we thought it would be a shame to see this not happening again this year or in the future, because so many people have taken advantage of it. We started out with 16 plots a number of years ago. PJ increased it to 33, and it's always been very popular in this part of town, because it seems like the community gardens on the other side of town kind of service that area of town, but the people up here are usually from the community in Holliston that live in this section of town. So here we are, alive and well.
Great. And it's fully subscribed this year?
Yes, there was only one small plot that was left, and one of our gardeners, Judy Placer, came up with a great idea that she wanted to plant some flowers, and so it would be a garden that was open to all the people that have plots here, that when they pick their vegetables and they're going home to cook dinner, they can take a little bouquet of flowers for their table. So everybody liked the idea, and we went with it, and she's been great with some of her helpers, and they're maintaining that garden.
Great. And what kind of gardeners do we have here?
Well, we have quite the range. We have some youngsters that are through a Girl Scout troop, that they have their troop meetings here and they work on their plots. Yep. And Lucinda Coughlin has been the troop leader, and she's come up with great ideas for the Girl Scouts to be here and learn something. And then we have senior citizens that are here, we have families that are here, and we have another group that are people with disabilities that come here, and they have 3 garden plots, and they really like it and enjoy it as well. So we have quite a range of people from different backgrounds that come here to use the gardens and enjoy it.
And what kind of improvements have you made? Adam, can you talk a little bit about how this came about?
Sure. It's usually by necessity. The first thing that we had to overcome were dilapidated boards for the raised beds. So we got timbers cut, and we had to make further cuts because they were rough cut, and it was a very big job. And we got those installed, not all of them, because it's such a large project. We had to break it up in phases. So this was the spring phase. We did approximately 6 gardens, I believe, and we're going to continue that into the fall. We'll pick that up again after the harvest, of course. So that's one improvement. The other was, it seems like a minor thing, but it's kind of important. None of the plots were numbered. So people would not know whose garden plot is who unless you had a neighboring garden plot renter who you befriended. And there was no way for anyone to contact one another to have a buddy watering system if someone was away on vacation. Well, that happens a lot in the summertime. So now, and the other thing was that there was no email distribution. People did not know how to contact other renters. So now we've dealt with that by including everyone on a distribution. Everyone is aware of updates. Deb's really great about giving all the gardeners updates of all the improvements in the garden. And if you're away, you can contact everybody, and whomever wants to volunteer to help you out and water your garden, you're going to be covered. The other thing was Deb made these little signs. As I mentioned, we didn't have any plot numbering. So you'll see when we go into the garden, there are little circle cross sections of limbs. And Deb hand painted them and varnished them, and they're hanging on all of the gardens, so they're all numbered. It's just a little added touch, and not only for convenience, but it's also aesthetically pleasing. Sure. We've also gotten more, we got this sign. We just figured that we should be more official. We should tell people how to contact us if you want to join, or if you have any questions, what have you. So it's pretty self-explanatory, and we thought that would freshen up the place and also give some establishment to the garden.
Well, it really is truly a community experience now, with all the communication you have among the gardeners. And if people want to join, they just email PinecrestCG at Holliston K12, and you're really putting a spirit into this this place. I like it.
Thank you. The other things we've done is we tried to get better equipment. We were dealing with broken down tools, so we ordered a double front wheelbarrow, so it's stable, so children, elderly, anyone can use the wheelbarrow.
Yeah, one wheelers always tip.
Absolutely. We have we have a gardener, Chris Lee, who built a ramp for the back entrance of the garden that could also be used in the front if you needed to, but it helps to go in and out because we had to have a raised board at the threshold to keep animals out. Yep. So that enables to and fro operation of the wheelbarrow very easily. We also got a lot of gardeners donated tools. We have in our tool shed, we installed an LED motion detector light, so when it's dusk and you can't see now you can see inside the shed. Little things to make life easier.
Oh, so everything is here, the tools and the wheelbarrow and everything.
Absolutely, you don't have to bring anything here. It's all here.
How about fertilizer and things like that?
Fertilizer, it has to be organic.
Okay.
And you bring that yourself. Every renter is responsible for that.
Yep.
But we have provided pest control, organic pest control methods. Concentrates that are all organic, of course.
Sure.
To keep beetles, cucumber beetles, for example, away, and other undesirable varmints. Yep. As well as commercial grade vinegar to stave off the encroaching ivy and growth that pops up.
Oh, wow.
We supply that.
This is serious. Gosh. How about animal control for those pesky varmints? You're right here next to the woods.
Yeah. Well, P.J. Kilkelly, in his wisdom, built a pretty deep squirrel fence and animal fence underneath the existing fence that you see. But you can't always keep every animal out. That's why you'll see a lot of people have fences around their plots in addition to the fence here. And in addition to the fences you see, they'll have a rabbit and deer fence or chicken wire around the base. Yep. Because the rabbits will chew through, for example, a plastic fence.
Yep. So how much does it cost to do a plot here?
Well, it depends on the size of the plot. We have 30 10 by 10 plots that the cost is $50, and we have 3 5 by 17 plots, and the cost of those are $25.
Who's funding some of the improvements that you're talking about here?
That's come from the rental of the plots.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yep. And we also had Dave Dubin deliver 20 yards of horse manure for the gardeners, and he did that free of charge. So thank you very much, Dave Dubin.
That's excellent. Because I was going to ask you, how do you improve the soil? So that's one way you did it.
Yep.
Yeah. Great. Well, maybe we should go inside and walk around a little bit and see what's happening.
Sounds good.
Okay. So here we are inside the gardens, and you can see right off the bat how lush and beautiful some of these are. Deb, this is yours, right?
That's correct, yep.
So what have you got in here?
Well, we have several different kinds of lettuces, some butter lettuce, some red leaf lettuce. I have a couple of different kinds of peppers, some green beans. These are different types of cherry tomatoes. For some reason, I just am into cherry tomatoes, so I like them all different colors, all different shapes. So that's what I do every year. And then I have summer squash, zucchini squash, cucumbers, and another thing that we do that we didn't mention is some of us share what we have, because you buy a 6-pack and sometimes there's more than 6 in the pack. There might be 10 in the pack or whatever. So people, leave their 6-pack out when they're done, and they'll go, anybody that wants it can have some. So the other day someone offered me some broccoli and cabbage, which I've never grown before. So I took one of each, and we kind of share things too, so help each other out a little bit.
Yeah, and you can see here too all the elaborate fencing that goes on with different kinds of, the plastic fence and the wire fence. People are really...
Yep. Rabbits will eat right through this, so people end up putting some wire fence. I had that happen to us the first year. The rabbit had a hole on one side of the garden and then had a hole on the other as an escape route, and was coming in and having a lovely meal for themselves.
And here on Adam's plant, these are the new timbers, right?
Yes.
The new ones that you guys did last year?
Yes.
This year?
That was quite a project. We thought, as Adam had alluded to, we thought we were going to get them all done that needed to be done, but it involved a lot more. We had to find a sawmill that could cut them for us, and that was kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
And then they were such a good size when we got these that we had to, cut them to length. So my husband, John Moore, and Adam went about and made sure they got cut to the right length. And luckily we had a National Honor Society student that came forward and said that she would like to take some of this on as a project for her National Honor Society work. And so Katie Canoni stepped forward, and her crew actually replaced 4 of the plots for us all by themselves, and they did a fantastic job. We could not have done it without her and her team that came in here to do it. So, like Adam had said, we're going to phase the rest of them in the fall and then probably next spring, but we didn't want to hold people up from gardening, so we stopped that work around the middle of May so people could get their gardens planted.
Great.
I've gardened up here for quite a few years. I don't even know how long. I live in Brentwood and I live in the shade. I've got forest all around, so there's no way you can grow vegetables at all. I mean, we're lucky to grow a few roses by the edge of the road. So I love it up here. You can have your plot, and it's sunny and it's protected, and it gets you away from life, sort of. And so we've grown a lot of different things up here over the years.
That's great. And you get to hang out with other gardeners too.
That's right, we do. My friend Deb, she gardens with us too, and we have a couple of plots here. So,
what's your favorite thing to grow?
Oh, I love peas in the spring. So
Who doesn't?
probably peas,
Who
because
doesn't?
you can't get those fresh. I mean, like fresh peas, and then green beans.
Okay.
Love to grow green beans. There they are.
Yep.
So
Oh yeah.
you can see them
Yep.
coming up.
Great.
So those are a favorite, and the Swiss chard, because it grows all summer long. You keep cutting it, and it comes back, and you cut it, and it doesn't go away till frost.
They're making garlic scapes right now.
What's that?
This is the flower.
Oh
And
yeah.
This is a delicacy.
Mm-hmm.
So people chop them up. You can use it just like a bulb of garlic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good to pick them off the plant, because then the bulb will grow bigger.
Okay, that makes sense. Yep.
So,
You got some peas here too.
yeah, I got snap peas. They're one of my real favorites.
Yeah.
You can just eat them right off the vine.
Yeah.
No cooking or anything.
Community gardens offer a community a lot of different things. First of all, there's the physical exercise. There's mental well-being, which we need a lot of nowadays, good mental health. And it's a sense of social health. You get a lot of people, like-minded people that you haven't met, that you become friends with, that you would never have probably met even in our small town of Holliston. there's people that I have met through gardening that I didn't know before, and you look forward to seeing them every day when you come up here.
And you can probably share like knowledge and stuff too. If you're a beginning gardener, you can learn from other people.
Certainly, and people do that. And, you know, we ask each other questions about what they're growing and how they're getting a good crop. Have they done anything different than what we've done? And also, as Adam pointed out, you know, keeping in touch on email is another added benefit, because if we have a pest problem, we can all figure out how we're going to solve it, because as, you know, usually a pest just isn't confined to your plot. When you're sharing a plot with 32 other people, it becomes everybody's problem. So we find ways to deal with it among ourselves, and people do some research online and come up with ideas. And so it's a great way to, you know, solve an issue that you might have, and a great way to meet other people. And we just, you know, really enjoy it, and I know Adam does. He's done so much work here. We couldn't have done it without all his help.
And it's like you said, it's mental health for you. You come up here, there's always something to tend in a garden.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah.
you're weeding,
Yeah.
you have to water,
Yep.
organically feeding your garden,
Yeah.
you know, and also helping your neighbor in your garden when you know they're away, helping to water. And if you notice pests on their garden, tell everybody.
Yeah.
You know, so we try to help each other out, a true gardening community.
Deb, how do you keep all this watered up here?
Well, if we're lucky, it rains. But when we don't have that advantage, we do have access to 2 water sources, one on each side of the garden. There's 100-foot hoses on both, and of course the nozzles, and we bought all that new this year. But the water comes from the clubhouse down below, and there's a meter on it this year so that we can tell how much water that we're using, and then we have to reimburse the town through rental fees for the use of the water. But
Excellent. So it's kind of self-contained.
yes,
Yeah.
yep,
The money goes in, but it stays here and then goes out for the
Whatever
use
the
of
needs are.
whatever the needs are.
yep.
For Heartbeat of Holliston at the Pinecrest Community Garden, this is Chryso Lawless.